sprint. This is the run to the line. This is the effort for the finish as Guerra sees the banner. She's going to be the first rider in Category A. The winner goes to Gabby Guerra from the Riot Squad in our Category A race today. Neelan has kicked from Wahoo Lacole. Gina from Herd is there. Strausser from Crush Pod. But LaGrosse from Electric Spirit, the Queen Bee, is coming through the pack. I think she's going to take that by a tyre width. That is phenomenal timing. As Brown is the one who opens up the sprint first, but Nightingale now coming up and over. They are side by side on the run into this, but it's going to be teammates Nightingale and Porter side by side. It's not going to matter for the team who takes the win. The chase is coming on from behind for second position, but Michelle Orme from Galaxy is going to take the win in the Category D race. She's going to pick up that 50 points for her team as Nordquest takes the sprint there in second. Well, we have just witnessed all four finishes across our four race categories from the racing yesterday, and it was absolutely brilliant. It really did not disappoint. Stage 2, that was on the Tour de Boudicca. Hello and welcome to Stage 3 with me, Emma Martin.
And I'm Gillian Howland.
Gillian and I are really looking forward to bringing you the final stage and the action today from the Tour of Boudicca, the individual and the team competition. There is both everything to play for. Let's take a look at where we've been and where we're going. So stage 1, we had those 3 short races on Friday. Yesterday, it was the crit race in Glasgow with points aplenty. There are points today in the team competition on the 2 QOMs. We're heading to Legends and Lava, 24.5 kilometres of racing. Gillian, you're going to take us through that a little bit in a while, but first let's take a look at the results from yesterday. So Category A results, these are yesterday's individual results. These are points based. So Hansen from Colombi, from Real, from Tidhome, from Holdcroft, Russell, Penaguera, May and Gilbert in Cat A. Hansen's lead, 21 points on Selena Colombi yesterday. She picked up a whopping 276 points in the 2 sprint and climb sections that were each lap. Category B, if we run through the top 10 there, it was Strasser and Ernst, both from the Crush Pod squad in 1 and 2. 371 points Strasser amassed, 263 for her teammate Ernst, Piers, Cuthbertson, Neelan, LaGrosse, Neeson, White, Davinga and McKay rounding out the top 10 in Category B. In Category C, well, the points were spread a lot more even here. Porter picking up 213 points from Wondero, 193, 177 for Profumo. So a lot closer in Category C. Sophie N, East, Diract, Rogers, Spencer Olsen and Charlton rounding out the top 10. Category D, well, it was Carmen Rogan's 386 points she picked up yesterday from Hannah-Lee Fish, who picked up 330. But both of those really sweeping up the points in Glasgow yesterday, because Nordquist in 3rd place in the D category, 209 points. So Rogan's and Fish really on form yesterday. Now, where does that leave us? Those are yesterday's results. This is the individual GC after yesterday. It's complicated. Hold on to your hats because it is exciting. Now, Category A, Holdcroft holds on to the Queen Bee jersey from Next PB Insured. She has a race time combined of 1 hour, 8 minutes and 49 seconds. Now, I'm being exact because Gabby Guerra from the Riot Squad is 8 seconds back in that Category A race. 11 seconds back is Hansen from the Ionian squad. So just 11 seconds separating those 3 riders at the top of Category A. Category B, well, it is even closer. Clara Lagros, she will be our Queen Bee today from Electric Spirit. 1 hour, 11 seconds and 1 hour, 11, 23 seconds. Neelan Wahula Cole, 1 hour, 11 minutes, 26 seconds. She's 3 seconds back. Cuthbertson from Level Racing, 1 hour, 11 and 27 seconds. She's 4 seconds back. In fact, only 23 seconds separate the top 12 riders in Category B. Category C, well, if you thought Category B was close, Category C, it's only 12 seconds that separate the top 13 riders. And Emma Porter's going to be in that Queen Bee jersey with a time at the moment from the NZ Bro Squad, 1 hour 15 exactly. Over Mo from Aeonian, 1 hour 15:02. She is 2 seconds back in second place. Category D, Orm from the Galaxy Squad, 1 hour 24 and 32 seconds. She's got a 6-second lead on Walker and a 14-second lead on Rogans from the Herd Squad in that individual GC. Gillian, it is close at the top.
Absolutely, it's very close. But today, hopefully, we're gonna see maybe those gaps come down a little closer.
Well, take us through the course where the riders are going to be racing for those points and those seconds. We're heading to Watopia.
The Queen Stage, a stage very near and dear to my heart. It's on Legends and Lava. It's 1 lap, total distance coming in at 24.5 kilometers. It's going to be a fast and flat start. Leaving the desert, and then it's a gradual climb up into Titan's Grove, and if you watch closely, there's a pond that has a little rubber ducky in it. Approximately 4 kilometers from the start of the race, the reverse Titan's Grove QOM begins. This is an FTS, or fastest through segment, lasting almost a kilometer, and since the entire climb is draftable, I bet we're going to see a sprint to that QOM banner. Following the completion of that segment, riders will have a quick wave at Braxton the Brontosaurus before heading out for a quick dip into Oceans Boulevard. Speeds are really going to pick up out of the water and into those gentle switchbacks as the racers approach the Italian villas. They'll do a whip around that fountain where riders can toss a coin in for good luck before they head to the S's. As riders snake through this portion of the course, they're going to have to stay on their toes so as not to get dropped before the Volcano QOM, which begins just after kilometer 20. The Volcano QOM is an FAL, or first across the line segment, and it lasts for just over 3 kilometers. I'm predicting some very exciting finishes, especially since the steepest portion of the entire race is less than 200 meters from the top of the QOM. So let's have a look at some of those segments. The first one is going to be reverse Titan's Grove, distance coming in at just under 1 kilometer, so 0.9 kilometers. As I mentioned, it's just after 4 kilometers. It's not that steep of a climb, but because it's draftable, we're gonna see a lot of speed building up as riders go into the climb and then also come out over the top. Moving over to the Volcano, this one is substantially longer. It's almost going to be 4 kilometers, and it's at the end of the race. So everyone is going to be pretty fatigued from the fast-moving pack. It is also a relatively draftable segment, and riders are going to have to really stay on their toes so that when they reach those draftable moments, they're not getting left off the back of that peloton. The finish is at the top, so riders who end up in the front, they're ultimately going to be the winners of the stage, but that does not necessarily mean that they are going to be winners of the Tour de Boudicca as a whole.
Yeah, so the individual stage up for battle and fighting, but also the Tour de Boudicca overall in the individual competition and the team competition, all to be decided today. Well, shall we take a little look at that team competition? If we go and remind ourselves of the teams in the competition, you can see them all there, resplendent in the jerseys that you will see the riders wearing now. The team competition is as tight as the individual competition. In the A category, Team Riot are at the top of the table with 612 points. They are 189 points clear of the Ionian squad. Love the Race Esports race team, 364 points. They're 59 points behind Ionian in silver. Just 12 points behind them, Team Castelli, powered by Elite. So the top three, the bronze, gold and silver, not decided yet in that A competition for the teams. There's going to be some fighting for points today there. Category B. Crush Pod have been dominant, and we saw that with the top two riders, Strauss and Ernst, picking up those points yesterday. At 690 points, Crush Pod amassed yesterday. Phenomenal point score. Well clear of level racing with 372 points in second place, but Wahoo Lacole are snapping on their heels with 315 points. The Herd, well, they're in fourth place with 300. So second, third and fourth, I think, are still up for the competition today. Category C, it's NZ Bro, 418 points. They are clear of the Galaxy squad with 389, so a 29-point lead in that category. C competition, Love the Race Esports race team, well, they're only 18 points back. So 1, 2 and 3 all could change in Category C. That is not a guaranteed win for the NZ Bro squad. In the D category, well, the Herd have amassed 751 points in the race yesterday. The highest scoring team across all four categories. So 751 points amassed by the Herd yesterday. Galaxy putting in a great race as well with 528 points in second place. Love the Race Esports race team, 394 in third, but it's Aeonian 381, just 13 points back in fourth. So the top three, whilst the Herd have got a lot of points there, it is not all yet confirmed in the D category either. So a lot to play for in the teams competition, a lot to play for in the individual competition. This is the final stage of the Tour de Boudicca. The riders are down in the pens. They are warming up. What are you expecting the starts to be like, Gillian?
I predict some typical Zwift starts. I think they're going to be very fast, and I think there's going to be a push to maybe drop as many riders as the peloton can before going into that Titans Groves portion of the race, because ultimately that will give the peloton it'll be a smaller number of individuals completing the race, so it's fewer competition towards the end of the race.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because that first Titans Grove reverse is the fastest through the segment. So in terms of the points competition, not necessarily the first person over the line, but the individuals are going to be after a time across the line at the end for that individual competition. Should we drop down into the pens? Because there's around 10 seconds till our A category race gets underway. So our riders down in the pen, the final warm-up's done. We've just had that shot in the pain cave of our riders. The A category riders are up and out of the pens. Now a lot of Trons in this peloton. Gillian, you know, we've talked a lot about bike choice here, but definitely our A category riders going for the Tron option.
That's one thing I noticed too. It's kind of it's like a bag of Skittles out here. But honestly, if I were racing this course, I would probably have gone with a Tron as well. It's a great overall bike. It's light. It's got great drafting aerodynamics. It's colorful. One thing I really like about the Tron is you can tell how hard your competition is pedaling because their bike will be brighter. So you can kind of tell who's in the draft, who's really working because of the light that Tron bike gives off. We do have a couple of aerodynamic frames in there. Aerodynamics is going to far outweigh the benefits of having an aerodynamic setup is going to outweigh the benefit of having a light frame. I'm really not seeing very many light frames in here. Just a lot of neon today.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned earlier on, both climbs with a lot of drafting potential as this pack of Category A riders very, very tight as they roll into the rolling sections on the course. Now, the gradients change continually through here, and riders need to be really vigilant in the pack. Now, currently at the moment is Doyle from Synergy, along with Eilish Gilbert there as well from Electric Spirit right up the front here, wanting to stay near the front of the pack and staying, well, perhaps not on the front, but close to the front and paying attention to what's going on. Really crucial through this rolling section.
I agree with that statement. Being close to the front so you can, by the way, there's that rubber duck. Being close to the front so that you can follow any attacks that happen is going to be a smarter move with these kind of undulating climbs. The riders are really going to get that kind of a washing machine effect where the front is stretching. It's going to stretch out that peloton, going up these climbs and over it. And then as the riders come down these little mini descents, the back of that peloton really has the chance to accelerate up into the front of the group. And so I think right now, as long as someone toward the back of the peloton is very aware of what's going on in the front, I think they're okay. But as the speeds increase, riders are definitely going to want to stay on top of the movement in the front.
Well, they're staying on top of the movement in the front at the moment because Waterfield is up there. Gilbert is up there. We've mentioned that from Electric Spirit. Doyle is in there as well. These riders continuing to rotate. Nobody stretching off the front. The group really big. Tidholm is in here. So is Silvana. Leone is in here too. Holly Bergen from Next, powered by Insured. She is also taking attention at the front there and really watching what is going on. So Russell from the Riot Squad is in here too. So is Lytton. Kirtle from Aeonian is in here. All riders at the moment in this big group as they continue through this rolling section. Just seeing one rider stretch it off the front here, and that is Cabot. So Cabot, one of the riders really motoring here. She is pushing on up through now. Morgan Cabot next, powered by Insured. She's part and parcel of that team with Holdcroft and Bergen. So a strong squad. Holdcroft, the rider in the Queen Bee jersey. She's held that since yesterday. So can she hold that till the end of today? We will only be able to wait and see. But this Category A pack absolutely motoring. Altogether, a high pace as they roll through towards the Titan's Grove Reverse, which is our fastest through the segment. It's our first QOM today. So Category A clearly out of the pen. Category B starting 1 minute behind Category C. 1 minute behind B's. Category D, they will also be out of the pens now. We're in with the Category B race, and you can see there's already a split on the group coming into this rolling section on the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's where you can see that group split really clearly. So we already have more than one group on the road in Category B. So who is in here? We've got a number of riders in this pack. It's a big pack, looking at around 50 riders, I think, as we're seeing them come through these rolling sections. They are moving just shy of 40 kilometers an hour. Now, Downey from the Revo squad is in here. Woods Turner is here. Cullen, Ernst from Crushpod. Now, Ernst from Crushpod picking up a huge number of points yesterday in
Someone I'm keeping an eye out for is our Queen Bee jersey. I think she's up towards the top.
Yeah, she is indeed. She's rolling there, but it's taking a look, and Carla Lagros is coming up to the fore as well here as we see this group moving through. So Cat B now at 3 kilometres of this 24.5 kilometre race. Category A, though, we're seeing an attack off the front. She's on Titan's Grove. It's Bullock from the Aeonian squad who's gone for this. Atkins and Tidholm are covering. So is Dora Waterfield coming back together from the Wahoo Lacole squad. We are seeing riders coming back in as they head into the section. Now, this Titan's Grove section, 900 metres, 4.1 kilometres into this race, an elevation gain of 39 metres, the average gradient 4.3. It's a big pack come in, Gillian. What do you think's going to happen here?
My guess is that Aeonian rider who went off the front was sent out there to be kind of a scout, so that the entire peloton would ultimately start chasing her, pulling or increasing the speed of the pack. And then I'm hopeful to see maybe Hansen from Aeonian come over the top, because we kind of saw her sneak up towards the front as the peloton overtook the Aeonian rider who led out the group into this climb.
Well, what's really interesting is Collins is the rider from Wahoo Lacole. Yeah,
she seems to be very comfortable just setting the pace.
Yeah, so Collins currently lying in 4th place in the individual general classification after stage 2. She's 16 seconds back on 1st place, and she's stretching the group. And you were right, Gillian, because it's Hansen from the Aeonian squad who's doing the chasing. Hansen from AEO, she's currently lying in 3rd place on GC behind Holdcroft and Guerra. It's Guerra that goes. Guerra's pushing on with Hansen. Harper has gone as well. These riders really pushing here on this climb now. So
that was a brilliant
Hansen,
move
Harper,
from the
Aeonians. Yeah, it was indeed. Team tactics coming into play and serving individuals. This is the Category B race. They are now on Titan's Grove as well, and it's Furness who is coming through and leading this group. Cuthbertson, she's currently lying in 3rd. But she's got herself into this leading group here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders clear here. And it is our Queen Bee in the mix as well. Lagros from Electric Spirit. She's in there. She's got herself in contention in this leading group. And 3 riders now pulling away from the 5 as Gina from Herd joins the chase group. So we're watching Lagros push through. This is the Category 2 Queen Bee. She's currently leading the overall individual GC. After the 2 stages from Friday and Saturday, she rides for the Electric Spirit squad. She's got a 3-second lead on GC from Neelan from Wahoo Lacole, but I can't spot Whelan from Wahoo Lacole. Well, actually, Neelan is there, but she's 2 seconds back at the moment. So that push from the front really benefiting Lagros from Electric Spirit in that Category B race. Now in Category C, it's Porter leading GC from NZ Bro. That squad really dominant yesterday in that sprint finish. Taking a look on the screen at the moment, though, we've got a large number of riders still together in this C category. Now, 118 riders starting today in the C category. It has been our largest race field every day. And you can see on the top right-hand corner, this field is stretched all the way down. Jones, Cook, Graham, Schneider, Porter, Olsen, Bright, all in the top 15 green at the moment as we are looking at them. Rennie from Crushpod is in here at the moment, but Cook from Level Racing, Profumo is up there as well. Now, taking a little look on the front is indeed Profumo from Team Italy, who is pushing his. Schneider is there. Overmo from the Aeonian squad is coming up on the inside. Now, Overmo, she is 2 seconds back on GC from Porter. Just 2 seconds. She was our Queen Bee yesterday, but she had that jersey taken off her back and it went to the NZ Bro rider Porter overnight. Can she re-establish her dominance on this course in Category C? Can she take back the overall win? Well, she's definitely giving it a go, but Porter comes up and over the top. Porter now pushing on over the top of the climb. So our Queen Bee from the NZ Bro squad in Category C trying to get the best of Overmo from the Aeonian squad and keep that jersey at the top of the pile. Now, Category D coming into... Wow, we've got another fight on here. Category D coming into Titans Grove Reverse, and it's Hannah Fish from the Aeonian squad who is pushing on the climb. Rogan's from Herd. She is the rider chasing. This is interesting. They are now 2 to 3 seconds clear of the chase group of Taylor from Level and Dubourg from Galaxy. Continuing stretch down here. So Orm was or is the rider in the Queen Bee jersey from the Galaxy squad. Herd, who is currently... Rogan's from the Herd squad is currently in 3rd place overall. Hannah Fish from the Aeoni squad has been riding strongly. She scored at 330 points for the Aeonian squad yesterday and finished 2nd in that points competition to Rogan. She is obviously a rider on form at the moment. Take a look at that. Currently 184 watts, 180 heartbeats. She is working hard as Taylor from Level Racing comes up onto her wheel. Now, Gillian, we've seen Titans Grove Reverse here really take its toll on some of these riders, and it's really starting to be instrumental. Are you expecting the groups to reform, or are we thinking that these riders might stay away?
I'm expecting some of the groups to reform in the C and probably the D categories. One of the unique things about this Titans Grove segment is it really depends how well riders know the Zwift algorithm. Do they know how to ride the rollers and really use them to their benefit so that they're able to close gaps and get draft and many micro moments of rest. But I would be surprised if we didn't see some of these snake-like pelotons really bunch up as they start to come down the forward side of this QOM.
Yeah, and we're seeing that, aren't we, on the shot now, because we've got all 4 race categories on the screen on the left-hand side while we nip into the pain caves with the riders. We've got some tactics being discussed there in the Guerra shot because Gabby Guerra lying in 2nd place overall, just 8 seconds back on Holcroft from Next PB, ensured she put in that classic attack yesterday, and fortune favoured the brave where she stayed away and stayed clear. But currently at the moment, the A category race, one big group there on the front. Same in the B cat and the C cat. It's just the D category race at the moment, Judith, that looks like we've got a much smaller group off the front.
I'm hopeful that this D group can kind of come together as they all complete this descent, because they're really going to need each other to get them to maximize the amount of draft that they're able to get from each other, especially going into Oceans Boulevard. right now it looks like most of the riders are kind of they're still sitting back. They're getting some recovery in here. They're moving towards what did I say his name was? Braxton the Brontosaurus.
I think you did
There's
indeed.
still a chance for some of these stragglers to, put in a little bit of a dig and then catch on to this group. Although a group does move substantially faster than a single rider, but you can almost get that snowball effect down these little descents.
Well, around 10 riders. That's it, isn't it? Around 10 riders in this group at the moment in Category D. Now, what I'm finding quite interesting, I've got some of the results in front of me from GC after yesterday's stage. Category D was where we saw the biggest time gaps. The top 12 in Category D separated by 1 minute and 4 seconds. Comparatively, the top 13 separated by only 12 seconds. In Category C. In fact, the top 24 riders within half a minute of each other. So Category C, very, very close together, but Category D, much more of a stretch on those time gaps. And that's being played out again today, I think, isn't it, Gillian? Because this is a much smaller group than we're seeing elsewhere.
It is a substantially smaller group than we're seeing in Category A, B, and even C. But if we remember how yesterday's race went, we also saw about a group of 10 riders take over that front group on Glasgow's crit course. The amount, I think the breadth or like the range of talent gets substantially wider as the levels go from A to B to C and all the way down to D. Once if you're in that A category, you have to be quite good. You have to be quite fit in order to really be able to sit in and race against all of the women in that category A field. Whereas it's not really the same for those the C and the D categories. The range of talent is just going to be much wider because just kind of the nature of the game, so to speak.
I'm loving the idea that you have to be relatively fit to be an ACAT rider, because I know some of these riders in real life and they are at the top of their game in their own countries, let alone worldwide or on an esports platform. Well, it's real laying it down from the Riot Squad at the moment as we cross the bridge here on the Category A race. We are pretty much at half race distance now, and the Riot Squad now starting to put an attack in. We've got Wahoo, Lacole are the riders chasing behind. In fact, there you go. You can see Jen Reel on the screen now from that Riot Squad. Teammates of Gabby Guerra, the rider we saw put the attack in yesterday, and Russell really high on GC2. Looking at around 6th place, but tied on time exactly with 5th, 6th and 7th. So Columbi, Russell and Tidholm all tied on time, 21 seconds back on GC. Britt Lytton as well as Nat Smith in this squad. It's a strong squad, isn't it, Gillian? And one that will have a plan, I think, for today's course.
This team will definitely have a plan. So I've raced with Real in real life. Real in real life. And I've experienced her doing this off the front in an actual race. And it's a smart move because you're drawing out, we saw this yesterday, you're drawing out some of the energy from the peloton. You're getting them to work harder. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we see, a teammate come over the top, just like we saw with Aeonian and that Titans Grove reverse QOM.
Well, Russell has indeed gone over the top. So Real putting in the action. Russell picking it up and dropping a power up as well. Continuing to motor and stretch this group and really starting to cause some effort to be put in here as she's riding away from the group. Now, it's almost seems like a strange place to attack, Gillian.
Not the strangest. So they're approaching the. I have to think and talk at the same time here. So they're approaching these really gentle switchbacks. They only get to about 1%, so it's kind of a false flat. But if they can, maybe Russell's gonna make it stick, or maybe we're gonna see something that happened yesterday, where Russell went out and then, as the group came back together, we saw Gabby go out. So this might be that trick up their sleeve, but it looks like, how big is it? The 3-second gap right now. I think it's a little too soon to tell, because if they can keep this gap until the S's and they can really use that Zwift algorithm to really maximize the amount of effort to speed going into them, they could blow apart this group. But it looks like they're coming back together, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a rider go off the front.
So I'll tell you who has come back through the group and is utilising these switchbacks and this little bit of a climb at the moment, and that's Celine Columbi from Castelli, powered by Elite. Columbi, we know she's a phenomenal climber. Guerra from the Riot Squad has also come up in close contention. I did see some bigger numbers coming out of her to close down her teammate, but it is Columbi who is pushing on here. She's utilising the gradient to put some action down and to really make this group work now. So with less than 10 kilometers now to go on the final stage of the Tour de Boudicca, this is stage 3. This is the final stage. This is the Queen stage. We are up and over the Titans Grove reverse climb. We have the volcano climb left to go, and Columbi from Castelli is pushing on here. Smith, look at that. The Riot Squad are absolutely getting this dialed in terms of teamwork today. We have seen all of them at some time on the front and closing down the attacks here. So Smith closing down the attack from Columbi. Collins from Wahoo Lacole coming over. These riders, they do not want to miss a move. It is so close at the top of this individual classification, but Columbi's attack now being brought back into the fold as we jump in with the B category, and we're seeing very similar tactics here. S-Child from the Ricoh squad has gone off the front. Wendorf is doing the chasing. Teammate Sharp covering the front of that group, which is a nice move. Rave, Electric Spirit, all in this now. But it is Ellie S-Child who we are in with at the moment from the Recorba Collective. She is pushing on. The fire is coming out of that Tron bike as she pushes over onto Wendorf's wheel. So these riders now with just under 10 kilometers of racing to go. 3 riders here in a line in this B category race, but they have company behind. 4. It's looking like you're looking at a team time trial on the front here, Gillian.
It is starting to look like a snake rather than
it
a
is,
blob.
isn't it? The power going on at the front really stretching that. So Wendorf sticking around 4.2 watts per kilo. She really is trying to stretch the pace on this group. Obviously a little concerned that riders were taking too much rest between Titans Grove and the final climb of the day and wanting to get this race moving. Look at that, our Queen Bee. Queen Bee there, Lagros from Electric Spirit, really marking the moves. She really doesn't want to get left out here. She came through that pack in the sprint yesterday really, really strongly. Now, Wendorf off the front. I Race Like a Girl was a professional triathlete between 2015 and 2022. Her endurance has got to be phenomenal, and probably after, bearing in mind this is the 5th race over 3 days, that is really coming to the fore for her and playing to her advantage today. So the pack all back together now in this B category race. That push on the front being brought back in. We've now got over 40 riders in this leading bunch, and everybody we would expect to be here in this category B race is in the mix as they swing in. Well, that's the fountain where they're dropping their pennies, Gillian.
Let's hope there's some wishes that the draft is able to stay, or that the speeds are able to stay high enough on the volcano so that these ladies can get the maximum amount of draft going up their climb. Riders are going to swing through the, this is actually a sprint segment, but it doesn't count today. And then as they head onto the bridge going towards the S's, they're going to take a quick wave at some of the, I think they're sea lions sitting at the corner just as they swing around the left here.
So the C race in front of us at the moment, 15.1 kilometres up this 24.5 kilometre course. The pack are moving over 30 kilometres an hour as they are into this same section where we saw that attack from Columbia in the A category race. Woodcock from the race squad here. This is the Wobble Cycle Club that Woodcock is part of. She is pushing on the front there. Now it is indeed riders chasing it down. Now I'm looking there. It also is the rider from NZ Bro, Nightingale, who we saw yesterday sprinting into the finale with her teammate covering the move at the moment. Is this more team tactics? Because Porter from the NZ Bro squad is currently in that Queen Bee jersey. So the Celtic Queens from the Wobble Cycle squad there on the screen in front of you, part and parcel of the action today. For me, though, this really is a race between Porter from the NZ Bro squad and Overmo from the Aeonian squad. And the Kent Velo girls from Brown, you know, it's those three riders who are all within 5 seconds of each other overall on this individual classification in Category C. I think the NZ Bro squad are looking out for each other, but I can see some Aeonian jerseys in there as well. Now, they have got to be working for Overmo.
I think teams are definitely going to be working for their lead riders today, allowing them to sit in the draft, rest and recover as much as they can before this final climb up the volcano.
Well, we are covering all 4 of the race categories throughout the Tour de Boudicca. This is Category D. They have almost exactly 10 kilometres of racing to go, and it's the same names here. So Rogan's from Herd pushing on. Ohlendorf is in here from Herd. Wilson from Vixen. Now, that is interesting, a really interesting move. So we are seeing riders here in the mix. Now, these riders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders in this Category D group. Got a bit of a gap, but it's only 1 second back to the rest, and they are being marked really well. Now, this was the category yesterday where we saw 10 riders go clear on that Glasgow crit course, and they pretty much came in together. Looking at the size of that group, it's not much more than 10 riders in this leading group at the moment. I would take a guess it's around 15 at the moment. My counting skills not that quick, but the Herd Racing League, you can see them in there at the moment. Obviously a squad that likes to have a bit of fun whilst they're racing. So Wilson from Vixen, Stairs from Galaxy, Michelle Orme from the Galaxy squad. She is our Queen Bee. She is right up at the front of this pack. She has made the selection into the leading group in the D category race. You can see that she is there, but Walker, she is only 6 seconds back on GC. Rogan's from the Herd squad is at 14 seconds back. She is in here as well. Ollendorf from Vixen, she's 19 seconds back, currently lying in 4th place. So they are all in the mix. Nordquist from the ESRT squad, she is 21 seconds back in 4th. The top riders in Category D have made the selection. Well, the top riders in Category A are now on the final climb of the day. They are on the volcano. Gillian, do you want to give us a little bit of a recap about this segment?
Quick reminder for our viewers, distance is just under 3.8 kilometers. So the A category is 21.5 kilometers into their race, which means they are already on their segment, which started at kilometer 20.8. They gain 129 meters of elevation. For those over in the States, pull out your calculator and you can convert it to feet if you need to. It's an average gradient of 3.2%, which means as long as the group is moving fast enough, the majority of the climb is actually draftable. And then as I believe it's where the riders, they go through the volcano, it begins to level out a little bit as they sort of they intersect before continuing their spiral up. It actually goes to about 1%, 0%, and I would not be surprised to see any elongated group come together, and I would actually be interested to see if a rider tries to make a move there, because they can get speed quick enough, and then they're not necessarily going to have that tumbleweed effect because of the uphill gradient that follows.
Well, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because Columbia is on the front here and she has stuck herself on the front and she is staying there at the moment. I wonder whether she is looking at the overall GC. She's got 21 seconds to make up to move from 5th into 1st place. So she's going to have to ride away from the bunch, and 21 seconds on this group is a lot to ask on this climb. I'm liking the work being done by the Ionian squad at the moment, because they have just kept themselves hidden in the draft and they've got 3 riders in there at the moment. Now, it is Hansen from the Ionian squad currently lying in 3rd place. That'll be the rider they'll be protecting. But the Riot squad are in here as well. Guerrera is in 2nd place, 8 seconds back on Holdcroft from Next PB Insured. I think she's going to be wanting to look at how they get her. Should I say the team, I think, are going to be wanting to look at how they get her those 8 seconds. They don't have very long, because 23 kilometers now are complete. They've got 1.5 kilometers to work out how they get her to the top first.
I think it's going to be a big move from Guerra as the segment begins to
I tell you something,
come to a close. She's already kind of making a move here
at the moment. She is. She's adamant she wants Columbi's wheel. So Columbi pushing now at around 6 watts per kilo. She's put the feather down. Guerra going for it as well. And moving into 2nd place, taking up her wheel. You can see on the top right-hand corner of the screen, she is working there. We've got Columbi on the bottom of the screen, Guerra on the top of the screen. Those are the 2 riders in 1st and 2nd place. But take a look at that. Holdcroft is moving. The next powered by Insured rider, who's in that Queen Bee jersey, moving now into the draft of the front 2 riders. Hansen from the Ionian squad is in there as well. She is just 11 seconds back on GC. She's 3 seconds off of 2nd place. Can she move to the top? Well, there is not a lot left of this mountain to go. The volcano is going to give us the finale to the Tour of Boudicca this year. It's 2024. It is the 5th edition of the Tour de Boudicca. We are on race number 5, stage 3. They are up the side of the mountain at the moment, and it is Columbi from Team Castelli, powered by Elite, who is moving at the front. Guerra is stuck to her wheel. If they were on the track, we'd be saying close the gap and get tighter. She is absolutely looking at sticking to Columbi's wheel. So look at the riders in their pain caves. They are working now hard. Guerra focusing on that back wheel of Colombia. As you can see her on the bottom of the screen, out of the saddle in real life and working and digging on the volcano climb. There is not much further to go now to the top of the mountain. They are going to come round the corner with 300 meters to go. It is going to kick. It is going to get steeper. As Gillian said earlier, the steepest part is the last part as Guerra goes past Columbi. Holcroft comes up as well. Columbi is digging deep at the moment. It is the next powered by insured rider who is working, but Guerra and Holdcroft have dropped a feather on the steeper segments. It's 10%. That's the finish line as Holdcroft comes over the top. Holdcroft from next powered by insured is at the front of this race. The Queen Bee is going to take it from Guerra. Columbi is going to come 3, 4, 3rd, but it is Holdcroft who wins the final stage. The next powered by insured rider in that Queen Bee jersey, taking the top step in that category A race on the final stage of the Tour de Boudicca today. I'm just going to grab my breath before we jump in with the B race, because the B race have got 1.3 kilometres of this climb left to go. It's Wendorf who's doing the work on the front at the moment, but the group is not far behind, and it is a big group of category B riders. Crush Pod are here, Herd are here, Aeonian Level Racing Coalition are here as well. They are all on top of each other. I can see our Queen Bee jersey in the pack. That's Lagros from Electric Spirit. She's got a 3-second lead on Neelan from Wahoo Lacole. Neelan is in there as well. You can see her. She's right up the front on that pink Tron bike in that blue and pink jersey. She's in fact currently the riders in just slightly ahead of Lagros in that Queen Bee. She's right up the front and she really is watching what's going on. Cuthbertson, the rider from Level Racing, who's currently in 3rd place, she is there. She's a Scottish rider, the rider with the Scottish flag there. So all of those riders taking attention at the front of this group. So this is the category B race. The riders now are going to swing round off this boardwalk. They've got 700 metres to the finish line here in this race. As we see Wendorf pushing on with Garrett from Wahoo Lacole. You can see Neelan coming up the other. In fact, the 2 Wahoo Lacole riders now side by side. The Aeonian rider is in the mix. Strausser from Crush Pod, absolutely dominant. Crush Pod were yesterday in the points competition, and Strausser's legs obviously having recovered overnight because she is in the mix as well. So Gina from Herd pushing on now. We're also seeing Wahoo Lacole. We're seeing Neelan go. In fact, Neelan's kicked early. There's 300 metres. We're going to go round the bend. We're going to see the gradient kick before the finish line. Neelan has gone at 7 watts per kilo, now just dropping back up to 6.8. But Strausser from Crush Pod, we knew she was on form yesterday. She has gone straight onto Neelan's wheel. Lagros, our Queen Bee, is covering hammering the move in third, but she cannot close the gap at the moment. So Strausser and Neela side by side. It's the Wahoo Lacole rider from the dominant Crush Point rider from yesterday. Cuthbertson from Level Racing is coming up, currently lying in third place. Who is going to take this today? I don't think the seconds are going to be any different, but it's Strausser who's pushing on. Lagros is coming, Cuthbertson as well, but Strausser from Crush Pod, she takes the win today on stage 3. Fantastic racing in category B as well. Now, category C, they are a little bit further down the volcano, and it's looking like we've got a bit of a breakaway. This is Jackson from the Coalition squad. Profumo from Team Italy is part and parcel of the pack behind, but at the moment, Jackson from the Coalition squad has 4 seconds on the chasing group. And taking a look at that shot back down the mountain, that is a huge chasing group. So can Jackson stay clear? She has still got 1,000 meters until the finish line. So Lotta Jackson from Coalition currently pushing, well, her heart rate sitting at around 177, 178. She's pushing over 200 watts. She is working really hard. 39 minutes of racing for Jackson already complete, and she's got 1 kilometre to go. This group behind have got 1,000 metres now to close her down to take the win in this race, and the action is now starting to come from behind. We can see Sadis is the rider from Team Italy with Brown, Porter, Profumo, Reinhold, Rennie, Nightingale, all at the front of that group now. It was indeed the NZ Bro riders, including Nightingale, who were the fast finishers yesterday. Will they be the fast finishers today? It's Porter from that squad in the Queen Bee jersey. She is marking the group at the moment, but marking the group is not enough when Jackson now has 5 seconds. So with 600 metres to go, Jackson has extended her lead. It's now out to 7 seconds. This is going to be an early effort if Jackson can hold this, because this is where it gets steeper. It's going to get steeper. The ground is going to rise beneath the wheels of Jackson from the Coalition squad. She's now at 8 seconds. I am willing her to do this from the studio at the moment. Fortune should favour a brave rider, and Jackson is a brave rider on this volcano climb today in this category C race. We said 24 riders within 30 seconds of each other at the start. The C category, one of the closest categories in the competition, and Jackson is moving away. So as Jackson moves away, this is phenomenal racing from the rider from the Coalition squad. She's going to come round the corner. The gradient is going to go up. It is going to get steeper, but Fideo from Herd is chasing, so is Nightingale, so is Cook, so is our Queen Bee, but they are not closing it down. Overmo from the Ionian squad is up the front of that pack as well. She's currently lying in second place, but I think Jackson from the Coalition squad, well, she's going to come round this corner and she's going to be able to look up and see the finish line. It gets steeper. She's going to have to push on those pedals, but the pack is coming from behind. They've dropped the feathers. Jackson goes over the top. Porter from NZ Bro, our Queen Bee, is absolutely kicking with that feather at 8 watts per kilo. It's going to be Porter. It's going to be the NZ Bro squad taking the win today with Porter, the Queen Bee. Profumo from Team Italy in there as well. Rennie from Crush Pod has just come through the line. The pack are moving through the finish line, and it was our Queen Bee. She came out and off the front of that pack. Wow, what a finish to that C race, Gillian.
That was incredibly unexpected. I thought that with an 8-second gap that Jackson had kind of sealed her deal. But then kind of like right out of the blue, Porter came up and over the top of her, just a brilliant move with that feather power up, and was just like a bird and just completely took over the competition and was basically just said, "Excuse me, thank you for that wonderful lead out. I'll take it from here."
I know, it was amazing, isn't it? And the perfect timing from Porter with that power up, absolutely perfect. Now let's see if our category D riders can emulate that, and who knows what power ups they've got in their back pockets. They are at 23.1 kilometers of this 24.5 kilometer race. They've got a substantial part of this volcano climb still to complete, but we have indeed got a stretch on the group. Rogans from the herd squad with Hanley Fish from the Aeonian team are the two riders up the road. This is Ohlendorf and M from Evo Havoc, two chase riders here. So Rogan's currently lying in third place in the individual competition. Ohlendorf in fourth place. Taylor from Level Racing here is wanting part of the action, but Ohlendorf is the rider trying to move across. She's part and parcel of that Vixen squad, and she wants on to the back of those two leading riders. She's not put a big enough kick in to close them down because it is coming back to her behind. Taylor from the Level Racing squad is there as well. So is Stairs from Galaxy. So the race in the category D competition, 1,000 meters now to go. It is a fantastic race because Rogan's has been active from the start. She's 14 seconds back on GC for that herd squad from our Queen Bee, and that's Michelle Orme from the Galaxy Racing. Can Rogan's get 14 seconds? Well, the time gaps are stretching. You know, I'm looking back down the list. Orme is now at 9 seconds back from Rogan. So Fish and Rogan's working their way up the mountain. These two riders clear at the moment. We've got a smattering of riders behind, some at 4 or 5 seconds, others at 8 or 9. The main group now at 15 seconds, 20 seconds back to Kim at Hurd. So the time gap's now really starting to stretch on this category D rider. Can Rogan's have enough road in front of her to put the gap in to Michelle Orme's? Orme's now digging and digging hard behind because she does not want to let that time gap go. She doesn't want Walker to get 6 seconds, Rogan's to get 14. She wants to stay in the lead of this individual competition on the Tour de Boudicca. So Michelle Orme's 3 seconds back. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 riders clear at the moment. Rogan's, Fish, Taylor and Stairs. 4 different teams. We have Herd, Aeonian, Level and Galaxy. These 4 riders now have 500 meters to go, and that chase group, that's Michelle Orme. She's our Queen Bee. She's leading that chase because she does not want to lose this gap because every second is going to count for her. Walker, well, Walker is not in the mix here. She is the rider further back down the road behind Orme. She's the rider in second place, but it's Rogan's that Orme is looking at because she's got a 14-second deficit to Orme in third place. That's what her target is. Stairs, Rogan's, Fish, Taylor. It's 5 seconds now back to Michelle Orme, our Queen Bee. The gradient is going to start to kick. It's 300 meters, 200 meters to go. Hanley Fish is putting the power down first from the Aeonian squad. I think she wants the win today. Is she going to get it? This is about who can take this win, but it's also about the seconds and the gaps behind. So the power-ups coming in with 100 meters to go. They're going to turn the corner. The gradient's going to go skywards. The finishing banner is going to be in sight as Stairs from the Galaxy squad drops that feather and pushes on at the front. Fish is holding out if she's got a power-up in her pocket because Taylor behind has dropped the feather as well. Rogan's now slipping back. She's now fourth in the line, but she is digging and digging deep as Stairs feather finishes. She's still got the wheels. She's still got the steepness of the climb. Taylor now coming through as Hanley Fish drops her power up. She's left it late. So has Rogan's, because I think this is going to be Stairs from the Galaxy squad who's going to take stage 3 at the top of the volcano on the final day of the Tour de Boudicca. It is indeed the rider Stairs who takes the win. In the D race, Michelle Orme, well, she was counting seconds. I think she has done enough because Rogan's was 14 seconds behind her. I think she's done enough there. And I think Walker, well, it's going to be interesting to see whether Walker has done enough to stay in second place because she was giving away 8 seconds to Rogan's. That one is going to be very close. So we are going to be able to take a look at our results for the race today. In terms of the overall individual GC and in terms of the teams competition, you are going to head over to Zwift Power. That's where you're going to need to head to find out those results later. But for now, stage 3 of the Tour de Boudicca, the final stage, Maria Holcroft taking that win in the Category A race. She went in leading GC and she won that race today. Guerra in 2, Columbi in 3, Hansen in 4, Aitkins in 5, Collins, Tiffany, Tidholm, Leone and Bullock rounding out the top 10 today. I don't think we're going to see a change, at least in first and second on the individual GC in Category A after that race, but fantastic racing. Just 0.3 of a second, Holcroft from Guerra. That was a great battle on the mountain. So that was Category A. Moving on to Category B results. Well, it was indeed Strausser who took that from the Crush Pod squad. She did a fantastic job yesterday picking up maximum points. She's done a fantastic job today, finishing 3 minutes 28 seconds behind Holcroft's time of 37 minutes and 2 seconds, winning that Category A race. Cuthbertson, Clara Lee, Neelan, Peresso, Wendorf, Sharp, Van, Oliver and Sogren, the riders within 10 seconds of her. So the first 10 riders in Category B coming across that line within 10 seconds of each other. It was indeed Legros who went into the Category B race from Electric Spirit, holding the win. Just 3 seconds she was holding that lead on GC from Neelan. She was holding it by 4 seconds from Cuthbertson in third place. I think this is going to be close, but I think it's going to remain where it was on standings because Clara Legros finishes in third place whilst Cuthbertson finishes in second. They are on the same time. Now, Category C. It was so close. We had 24 riders within 30 seconds of each other going into this final stage. Now, interestingly, the winning time in Category C, 7 minutes, 25 seconds down on the winning time in Category A. And it was Emma Porter who took the win there from the NZ Bro squad. She was the Queen Bee in Category C. She was 2 seconds clear of Overmo from the Ionian squad coming into the race today. She takes the win from Spencer, from Profumo Brown, Weidner, Rennie, Jackson Olsen, Karen VD and Sophie N. And you can see there again 10 seconds separating the top 10 in Category C in a similar fashion to Category B. So it looks like Porter is going to confirm her win on the individual GC with that win today. Category D, 13 minutes 27 seconds down the winning time on the winning time in the Category A race today for Fee Stairs. It was a great move to take the win from Taylor, Fish, Rogan's Orme, Michelle F., Barr, Walker, Ohlendorf and Molan. Now, Rogan's gave it a really, really good battle. She really, really did, but it looks as though from my very quick maths that Orme maintains that leadership. However, it is going to be so close for second place. I'm going to leave that to the judge and jury, because by my reckoning, it is so close. It's not going to come down to seconds. It's going to come down to hundredths and tenths of seconds. So we'll let the time team manage that one. It's going to be really interesting in that Category D race. Gillian, all of our categories have given us phenomenal racing over the last 3 days. I was going to ask you, can you actually pick any highlights or any best bits?
That's a tall order. I would have to say the top exciting moments for me would have to be yesterday's Category B sprint, watching LaGrosse come through the pack and ultimately take that win by, the tip of her nose. But I also feel like I have to mention that Jackson really put out a huge effort on the volcano today, only to get taken pretty close to the line by Porter. I've definitely made the moves that Porter has done, and I've snagged it. I've definitely made the moves that Jackson has done, and I've lost it. So sometimes that valiant effort sticks, and sometimes it doesn't. But I really love to see riders go and really put their heart on the line.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of riders have put their heart on line over the last 3 days. They have given us a phenomenal Tour de Boudicca for 2024. All 4 race categories every day have given us outstanding racing, and we've seen different tactics from different teams and different individuals and squads across all 4 of those categories, and they have all played out in very different ways, and I hope our viewers have enjoyed them. Well, that just leaves me to wrap up and say a number of thank yous. I'm going to start with riders and teams, because without you, we would have had no action to watch. It has been fantastic, the work you have done. It has been fantastic to see so many riders across those 4 categories. Viewers, thank you very much for watching. It's been great to have you with us. I'm also going to give a few other thank yous. ZMS Esports for bringing us the production that we can put words to. Gillian, I know you've had a snowstorm where you are over the last few days, and it's exceptionally cold, but it's been fantastic to have you join us on the commentary team. So thank you very much indeed. My last thank you has got to go to Carla Williams and all of those at the Warrior Games for putting on such an amazing event and attracting over 300 women to race with us over the last few days. So until next time, stay safe, enjoy your riding. We will see you again soon, hopefully. Goodbye.
Goodbye.